Book of Jehovih's Kingdom on Earth. Chapter 19. When the multitude returned to Shalom, the place was more than filled, and the voice came to Tay, saying, 2. Thou hast now fulfilled the first part of my kingdom on earth. But, behold, it is yet but a small branch of that which will overspread this great land. 3. Moreover, let the lessons of Uz be a prophet unto thee and thy people. 4. Because the Uzians build large cities, their would-be reformers are powerless to work righteousness amongst the people. 5. Let not the cities of my chosen be large nor more numerous than Shalom is already. Sufficient is such a size to all that is required for the fulfillment of mortal life. 6. Therefore, thou shalt proclaim it unto my chosen, that no city shall contain more than 3,000 people. 7. Suffice it, then, as I have placed the example of bees before thee, showing how they swarm, and go hence and establish a new hive, according to their numbers, even so shall my people go hence, and establish a new place, after the manner of Shalom. 8. This also shalt thou proclaim unto them, and thou shalt ask for volunteers in my name to accomplish these things righteously, as an example to coming generations. 9. So Tay called the people together and proclaimed Jehovih's word, adding also, 10. Whoso volunteereth to go hence shall not find the fullness of Shalom, but instead shall find discomforts and hard work. 11. Beware of disappointments and trials and hardships. For is it not the way with all men to desire to reap too quickly the harvest and to consider its fullness, rather than to contemplate the labor of tilling the ground and of sowing? 12. For the spirit of man conceiveth the result of perfection, but the judgment looketh to the labor required to bring it about. 13. Who then, having the joys and fullness of Shalom, will turn away from them, in order to build another place, and yet, the while, not repine for his choice? 14. A colony shall stand as an individual before Jehovah. A colony may thwart its own righteousness by living for itself only. 15. The whole world is to be redeemed. It is not sufficient for Shalom to say, Behold, I am the fullness of the Father's kingdom. Let others go and do as I have done. 16. The selfishness of a colony shall be, therefore, guarded against, even as the selfishness of an individual. 17. Discipline, as regardeth the means and power of a colony, shall manifest in directing to the given purpose of founding the Father's kingdom. 18. Shalom might appropriate her excess of production by sending it to Uz and giving to the poor. 19. Jehovah forbid that this should be done. The business of Shalom is not to distribute charity where it would thwart its own purpose. 20. Shalom shall use her excess of means to extending the Father's kingdom and building new colonies. 21. Jehovah is with us, and we shall draw Uz onto us, to make them know Jehovah. To feed Uz in his debauchery is to send him in the way of destruction. 22. Guard ye, therefore, the appropriations of Shalom to such as labor for Jehovah's kingdom. As we have drawn a few away from Uz, let us prepare to draw more. 23. The way is open for any to go hence to found a new colony. Neither shall it be a branch of Shalom nor a dependent, but it shall be an independent sister colony. 24. Neither shall it copy after Shalom, saying, Shalom shall be our example. 25. This would be following an earthly light. 26. Neither shall its people copy after Tay, saying, Tay did so, and so let us also. 27. For this would be following a lower light. 28. But it shall follow the light of Jehovah, as it cometh unto who found it. 29. Save Jehovah found it, they shall fail who attempt it. 30. Jehovah designed not that man should build his house exactly like his neighbors. The misfortune of man is to copy after others, instead of following Jehovah's light, as it cometh to himself. 31. Let not this misfortune come into Shalom's sister colony. Another locality will call for other things. Be mindful of these, and adapt yourselves accordingly. Chapter 20. And there volunteered and went out of Shalom 200 adults and more than 300 children, of whom more than 100 were infants. 2. And they went into another part of the country and came to a place called Busiris, which was unoccupied. And they purchased a country there and settled and called the colony Eliam, signifying healing waters, for there were mineral springs on the place, said to contain great virtue in healing the sick. 3. Now, in a similar manner to Shalom, so did Eliam, building and improving the place. But the people of Eliam had less hardship, for they drew supplies and assistance from Shalom. 4. Nevertheless, they had also many hardships and trials for several years. 5. And Jehovah prospered Eliam also, so that it came to pass that it was established in great perfection. 6. As to Shalom, after the first swarm departed, the inhabitants sent back to Uz of their women, whose allotment it was, and collected yet more infants, castaways and orphans, and brought them to Shalom, and raised them in the same way. 7. From this time onward, every year, a goodly number reached the age of 14, and they were also liberated from infancy, and admitted as brothers and sisters, and nearly every year a swarm departed out of Shalom. 8. In addition to the infants admitted to Shalom, there were also admitted many adults, but these were examined after the same manner as were those at the first founding of Shalom. 9. And none were accepted save those who were faithists in the all-person, Jehovah, who were willing to work. 10. But there came many of the poor of Uz, seeking membership for charity's sake. 11. But none of them were admitted. Jehovah had said, "The laborers in establishing my kingdom shall not do for charity's sake. Their labor shall be to provide a way to prevent poverty, not to alleviate it. Behold, I will have a new race of people in the world, and they shall not waste their substance on those that deny me." 12. But the poor were fed and sent on their way. 13. Now it happened that many lazy people from Uz, having heard of the beauty and peace in Shalom, sought also to become members, being willing to make any covenant and to swear any oath for sake of living in idleness. 14. But the light of Jehovah had also made this matter clear, so that they were suffered to remain a while in Shalom at work, and to attend the schools of discipline, that they might be judged, and, if found worthy, they were admitted, but if unworthy, they were rejected. 15. But it came to pass that many who came with no thought of self-resurrection, but came for a home to be cared for by others, were entirely changed in their habits in a few months, being converted in truth from worthlessness to industry and self-improvement. 16. And many of these became zealous in purification and in good works, even above the average. 17. But nearly all who had applied for admittance were poor or misfortunate or discouraged with life and with the ways of the world in particular. 18. Neither came many who were rich, hence the saying, the difficulty for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. 19. For, having corporeal comforts, they took little concern as to the spirit, and especially as to affiliation. Chapter 21. Of the Voice of Jehovah. This is the sermon of the voice, as delivered into Shalom, to such as were admitted on trial to wit. 2. My voice is with all men, saith Jehovah. 3. Whoso is admonished against wrongdoing hath heard me. By that shall he know my presence. 4. The man of Uz crieth out in mockery. Who hath heard Jehovah? Do the faithists say they have heard the Creator's voice? How can empty space speak? 5. But I am sufficient unto all my creations. The ant heareth me, and the bee, the bird, and the spider, and all manner of living things which I created. 6. How think ye they hear me? Learning to do my will? Go I to them with lips and tongues, or with a trumpet? 7. I am spirit, I am the soul of things. By way of the soul is my voice unto every living creature that I created. 8. But man locketh up his soul, and will not hear me. 9. He heedeth that which cometh upon his corporeal senses, and this darkness groweth upon him, generation after generation. 10. Then he crieth out, Where is Jehovah? Who hath heard him? Perhaps the ancients, but none in this day. 11. Jehovah saith, I am as one on the top of a mountain, calling to all people to come upon to me. But they hearkened to darkness at the foot of the mountain, calling them down in torpor. 12. Now, behold, whatsoever thou hearest, or seest, or readest, or any indulgence that raiseth thee upward, the same is my voice unto thee. 13. But whatsoever thou hearest, or seest, or readest, that casteth thee downward, is the voice of darkness. 14. Whoso studieth to know the right shall hear me. Whoso striveth to be all truth to himself and to others, already heareth my voice. 15. Whoso indulgeth in anger or vengeance or in wrongdoing, casteth all veil up betwixt me and himself. He shutteth out my voice. 16. It is a talent to hear me. I bestowed it upon all the living. It is seated in the soul. 17. By cultivation it groweth. Yea, it becometh mighty above all other talents. 18. By its culture man attaineth to all possibilities, for so I created him. 19. When my voice is weak because of the darkness of man, he calleth me conscience, or setteth me aside as a faint impression. 20. But with culture, behold, my voice cometh to man with words and with power. 21. And he knoweth me, and is mighty in good works and wisdom. 22. And he becometh a proof before the world that my voice is with him. 23. Jehovah saith, Whoso hath not heard me is in darkness indeed. He hath not yet turned his thoughts inward to purify himself and seek wisdom. 24. Whoso hath heard me knoweth it, and all the world cannot convince him to the contrary. Chapter 22. This was commanded unto the inhabitants of Shalom, to wit, 2. Ye shall not persuade any adult to come into the Father's kingdom. 3. But ye shall say unto whoso cometh your way, Come and see us, and judge thou in thine own way what is best for thee and for the world. 4. Others shall come to Shalom, inquiring for curiosity's sake, and for the sake of relating mischievous falsehoods founded on a grain of truth. 5. Therefore, be ye guarded, saying to such, The time of word doctrines is at an end. Examine thou and judge as thou wilt. 6. Others will seek to convict you of self-righteousness. Therefore, if they inquire after this manner, to wit, Say ye the faithists are immaculate? Or say ye all others are wrong? Then shall ye answer them, saying, 7. Nothing mortal is immaculate, and as to others, we are not their judges. Go thou to Jehovah, and inquire of him. Sufficient unto us is it to do all the good we can, having faith in Jehovah. 8. Some will seek to trap you on the subject of marriage, inquiring after this manner, to wit. 9. Say ye, celibacy is higher than marriage, or is marriage the higher? What say ye of marriage and of divorce? 10. To these ye shall answer after this manner. We are no man's keeper, neither say we whether celibacy or marriage is the higher. We give liberty unto all to serve Jehovah on that matter in their own way. One marriage only do we permit to any man or woman, and though one or the other die, yet the survivor cannot marry again. And as to such as are married, they can, at the option of either one, return to celibacy by being publicly proclaimed in the temple of Jehovah. 11. And if they inquire of you as to leadership, saying, 12. Who is the leader? Who is the highest? Who is the head? Ye shall answer them, saying, Jehovah. We have no man leader, no man who is higher than another. We are brothers and sisters. 13. They will press you, inquiring, Some men can do more work, some men are stronger, some men are wiser. Now, therefore, how do ye grade them, that excellence may be known and respected? 14. To these ye shall reply, saying, all men are Jehovihs. He designed the strong ones to carry heavier burdens than the weak. He designed the wise ones to teach the less wise. Why then shall we give any preference to one over another? They are not ours, but Jehovah's. Sufficient is it for us to do our own parts, with all our wisdom and strength. Chapter 23. In course of time, the first heirs of Shalom came to maturity and to the marriageable ages. And since they had been guarded as to diet and as to controlling their passions, they were unlike Uzzians in their general characteristics. 2. Because they had never known to say, this is mine and that is thine, they were without selfishness or selfish desires, looking upon all things as Jehovah's, and on themselves as laborers to render good unto others. 3. They said, we were created in order to help rescue the world from darkness and to rejoice in our own lives because of such good as we can do unto others. 4. Behold, we were orphans and castaways. Jehovah wedded us to all the world. 5. Having therefore wisdom and purity within themselves, and withal, having sufficient association to choose from, they did choose and wed for love's sake. 6. Nor did any worldly ambition control their choice, or influence them in hope of any gain as to their wedded partners. 7. And it came to pass that the offspring begotten of these were indeed a new race in the world, as to wisdom, love, purity, and spirituality, and knew also to the beauty and shapeliness, the like of which had never been before in all the world. 8. And they were by birth so developed in Suis that when they were grown a little, education came to them without books. To see and to hear, either corporeally or spiritually, was all they required in order to accomplish wisely all things required unto mortals. 9. And with them, the heavens were also an open book, the libraries of the heavens as the sound of voices full of wisdom. 10. And the angels of ancient and modern times came, and stood by them, and walked with them, revealing the past and the future. 11. And now the fame of Shalom and her people was spread abroad, and lo and behold, colonies were springing up in the east, west, north, and south. 12. Hundreds of forest places and unoccupied lands were purchased and put under cultivation. 13. The wisest and best people began to depart out of the cities of Uz. Many of the Uzzians, lawyers, preachers, and priests and physicians gave up their callings, and they went forth, saying, alas, what good have I produced in the world? O Jehovah, teach thou me the way to work in one of thy kingdoms. 14. And some of the rich gathered up their means, calling, come, O all ye poor and helpless, behold, I have purchased land. Come hither and build a colony unto Jehovah. 15. And judges and governors gave up their callings also, and went and joined the faithists, founding and practicing Jehovah's kingdom on earth. 16. And kings and queens and emperors deserted their thrones, and went and dwelt with the poor. 17. So colonies of faithists in Jehovah spread in every direction, becoming the chief foundation of the states of the world. 18. And yet none of these colonies were bound by written laws, nor had any of them leaders or masters, nor any government, save the light of Jehovah. 19. Nor was one colony bound by the customs and commands of another colony, but all of them lived by the highest light that came to them. 20. Nor owned any man, woman, or child anything more than the clothes he or she wore, but all things were Jehovah's, in care of the keeping of the colony. 21. Nor was there buying or selling between the colonies, but they exchanged with one another according to production and without any regard to value. 22. And whosoever came and joined a colony, bringing gold or silver or valuable goods of any kind, donated them to Jehovah, and not to the colony, to be distributed according to the light thereof for the Father's kingdom. 23. Neither labored any one for the colony, but for Jehovah, nor did any colony hire any man, nor woman, nor child to work for them. 24. Such then was Shalom and her example before the world of the Father's kingdom on earth. End of the history of Shalom. Chapter 24. These are the records of the sea chiefs of the Father's kingdoms. 2. Jehovah separated the people, the Uzzians, on one hand, and the Faithists on the other. 3. And he said unto the Uzzians, Because I called, and ye came not. 4. Because ye said, Thy kingdoms come on earth as it is in heaven, and ye put not forth a hand in my behalf. 5. Because ye saw the multitude going after intoxicating drink and smoke and opium. 6. Because ye rose not up, saying, Stay thy hand, Satan. 7. But shirked, granting licenses unto these sins. 8. And ye have become a polluted people. 9. Given to drunkenness and to smoking and to all manner of dissipation. 10. Each one casting the blame on others and hiding himself in self-righteousness. 11. Thus opening the doors of your houses of debauchery as a temptation to the young. 12. Behold, I am risen in judgment against you. 13. My holy angels I shall withdraw from your cities. 14. And from your places of worship. 15. And from your government and your lawmakers and rulers. 16. For they have profaned me. 17. Making laws and granting licenses to carry on evils knowingly and willfully for policy's sake. 18. Hoping for personal favor and gain. 19. For they knew that what was not good for one person was not good for a nation. 20. And that whatever sin indulged in would sooner or later bring its own punishment. 21. And they said, We derive a large revenue from the duties and licenses for these iniquities. 22. Thus hoping to justify themselves by compounding themselves. 23. And I said unto them, A revenue thus received shall be expended in prisons and almshouses, and shall not be sufficient. 24. Because ye granted licenses and polluted the people, behold, the pollution shall more than balance the revenues. 25. The criminals and paupers shall be a great burden, than though ye received no revenue. 26. Behold, I showed unto you that, as an individual could not sin against me without, soon or late, becoming answerable unto me, I showed ye also that the same responsibility and results would befall a nation or a people in like manner. 27. For which reasons, and because of your evasions of my commandments, I called unto my God and lords and my holy angels, saying, Waste not your time and labor more with the Uzzians. 28. Nor answer ye their prayers when they call on my name. 29. And though their chief rulers and lawmakers be in the throes of death, and they call, saying, O Jehovah, heal thou our chief magistrate. 30. Yet ye shall not go unto them, nor do them service no more. 31. For they have become a conceited people, saying, There is no God, and Jehovah is void as the wind. 32. Behold, ye shall let them go their ways, their cities shall become full of crime, for angels of darkness shall come against them, and no city shall be safe from theft, murder, and arson. 33. And vagabonds shall travel in the country places, stealing and robbing and murdering. 34. And their great men shall take bribes, and their judges shall connive with sin, and the innocent shall be confined in madhouses. 35. And justice shall depart away from them. 36. The employee shall pilfer and steal from his employer, and the employer shall hire others to look after those in his employ. 37. But all things shall fail them. 38. For I will make them understand I am the first principle in all things. 39. And that I am justice. 40. And that I am purity. 41. And that whoso raiseth a hand against justice, purity, virtue, wisdom, and truth, also raiseth his hand against me. 42. I made the way of life like going up a mountain. Whoso turneth aside or goeth downward shall ultimately repent on his course, and he shall retrace his steps. 43. To a nation and a people, and to a government of a people, I am the same. 44. Righteousness shall be first and foremost of all things. 45. Their governors and lawmakers shall be made to know this. 46. When they were a monarchy, I held the king responsible. 47. But when I gave unto the multitude to govern themselves, behold, I gave also responsibility unto them. 48. And they sought not to make laws for righteous government unto the whole, but sought to favor certain cliques of iniquities, and to make laws to protect them in evil manufactories, and for traffic in tobacco and opium and alcohol. 49. And no man more sought to be a governor or lawmaker for the good of the people, or to serve me. 50. But he sought office for profit's sake and vainglory. 51. Now, therefore, my holy angels went away from them, and no more answered their prayers. 52. And the righteousness of the first days departed away from them. 53. And they became a nation of money-getters and servants of Mammon. 54. And I blessed not their marriages nor their households. 55. And their sons and daughters respected not their fathers and mothers, for as the fathers and mothers respected not me, so came disrespect and misery upon them. 56. And their sons and daughters became profligates and idlers, growing up for no good under the sun, depending on their wits to work out a life of sin and luxury. 57. And whoso married, peace came not to them, but contention and jealousy and bitterness of heart. 58. And their offspring fell in the grades, becoming outcasts and paupers and criminals. 59. And husbands and wives cried out for divorcement on all hands. 60. And the lawmakers granted them and favored them, but lo and behold, the evil multiplied on the earth. 61. In pity I cried out unto them, saying, Ye may make laws forever, but my kingdom cometh not by the road of man's law, except ye turn about and begin anew. There is no help for you under the sun. 62. But they would not hear me. 63. Then I sent my angels unto them, teaching them the same things that were taught of old, amongst which were, As ye bind yourselves on earth, even so shall ye be bound in heaven. As ye live on earth, serving self only, even so in a selfish heaven shall ye enter my worlds. 64. But they denied my angels, and abused my seers and prophets. 65. In their own self-esteem, they set themselves up to judge me, saying, There is no all person, there is nothing, save certain natural and divine laws, and they are dumb like the wind. They see not, nor do they hear. 66. Then I called out over the earth, saying, The time of my kingdom is come. Now is the time of my reign amongst mortals. 67. And those that had faith in me, and those that had faith came, and behold, they have built unto me. 68. I have a new people on the earth. 69. Again, I called to my God and to his angel host, saying, Behold, I have separated the wheat from the chaff. I have divided the sheep from the goats. 70. Go ye unto those that serve me in the practice of my kingdom, for they shall become the chief people in all the world. 71. They shall rejoice and prosper in all things. They shall sing songs of gladness. 72. Their sons and daughters shall be an honor unto them and a glory in my household. 73. Because they seek to serve me by practicing good works with all their wisdom and strength. Chapter 25. This rule I made in all my works, saith Jehovah. When I separate the people, the good go away out from amongst the evil. 2. Even as I drew the Israelites out of Egypt. 3. And whoso go out, prosper in my hand, I make them an everlasting people. 4. But those that remain go down to destruction, and they become unknown upon the earth. 5. Their great men are forgotten, and their wisest men lose caste in histories of 1,000 years. 6. Behold, these things I had made known unto the generations of the earth. 7. Now, when I separated the Fathists and the Uzians in the Cosmon era, I sent angels warning them. I said unto them, 8. Flatter not yourselves, that man is all wisdom. I say unto you, I am with the righteous. Might shall not triumph through wrongdoing. Behold, a judgment shall come upon this people. 9. When I begin to call them, my chosen shall come and found my kingdom, and they shall come faster and faster every year. 10. And the Uzzians shall fall into iniquity, and more every year. 11. And now, behold what hath been. 12. The prince of devils came upon the Uzzians, saying. 13. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. 14. I come to set man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother. 15. Now, therefore, when my angels went in behalf of my kingdom, behold, the prince of devils did invade the places of the ungodly. 16. And whoso received my angels and practiced righteousness were fallen upon by the emissaries of the prince of devils, and unmercifully treated with curses and tortures. 17. But I call the righteous hence, and they built unto me my kingdom. 18. And I said unto the Uzzians, let this be a testimony unto you of the power of the Almighty. 19. Ye go about building ships of war and harbors for defense, with torpedoes and with all manner of wicked inventions. 20. But I say unto you, this nation, this government, and this people shall not be attacked in the places ye build. 21. It is within. 22. For I will draw away the righteous, and none but rogues shall accept your great offices. 23. And this matter shall grow upon you in the way of evil, declining in virtue more and more every year. 24. Look therefore at your grade. Judge ye the words of the Almighty. 25. My hands fashion the signs of the times. 26. As the hire this day hireth one man to watch another, even so shall it come unto you in the great offices of your government. 27. By force and by might ye shall hope to overcome the prince of devils, but ye shall fail. 28. And in the proportion as ye go down in corruption, even so shall the faithless go away into my kingdoms. Chapter 26. The sea chief said, And Jehovah prospered the new kingdoms, as they were called in mockery, for they were not kingdoms, but the opposite. 2. Jehovah had said, A republic cannot follow the highest light. It followeth the majority, and a majority is, and was, and ever shall be, the lesser light. 3. Therefore, a republic is not the all-highest government, and, since only the all-highest can triumph in the end, behold, and interpret ye what shall come to pass. 4. The sea chief said, But many understood not. Nevertheless, the faithists had little in common with the Uzzians. 5. The faithists established a reciprocity between different colonies. 6. 4. Some were suited to agriculture and some to manufactures. 7. And they exchanged produce, so there was neither buying nor selling between them. 8. And it came to pass also that, as some of the colonies were situated to the south, where it was warm, and some to the north, where it was cold, so the people went and sojourned in any place suited unto them, continuing their membership wherever they went. 9. Now thus it did come to pass in Jehovah's kingdom on earth, man was without a government, such as man's government. 10. And this was the next higher condition that came up after republics. 11. The angels of Jehovah, perceiving this was coming to pass, said unto the faithists. 12. Bother not your heads much about passing new laws for the Uzzians, neither take ye any part in the government, whether it doth this or that. 13. For many men shall rise up, saying, If the government would make a law of peace, or if the government would prohibit the traffic and the manufacture of this curse or that curse. 14. But we say unto you, all these things shall fail. Trust ye not in the ungodly to do a godlike matter. 15. The societies shall fail. The peace society shall become a farce. The prohibitory society shall be lost sight of. 16. Even the churches that profess peace and temperance will not embrace peace and temperance. They will fraternize with liquor traffickers and with colonels and generals of war for sake of policy. 17. The boast of the Uzzians shall be, This is a home for all peoples. But, nevertheless, even in the midst of their boastings, they shall make prohibitory laws to the contrary. 18. For they are fallen under the lower light. None can turn them about the other way. 19. Under the name of liberty, they shall claim the right to practice ungodliness. 20. But ye shall come out from amongst them, and be as a separate people in the world. 21. Thus it came to pass, the people were admonished by God and his angels, and by Jehovah speaking in the soul of mortals. 22. And those that were of the Spirit believed, but those that were of the flesh disbelieved. 23. Wider and wider apart these two peoples separated. And the believers, having faith in Jehovah, practiced righteousness, rising higher and higher in wisdom and purity. But the disbelievers went down in darkness, were scattered and lost from off of the face of the earth. 24. Thus Jehovah's kingdom swallowed up all things in victory. His dominion was over all, and all people dwelt in peace and liberty. End of Book of Jehovah's Kingdom on Earth.